Hi friends, we're going to do a slow flow followed by a yin practice. This morning we haven't done one of these in a while. Thought now would be a good time. Please have a bolster or a couple of pillows, potentially for the yin section, and then maybe a couple blocks if you want those for the slow flow section, and perhaps a blanket if you want that for any purpose. We're going to start lying on our backs. We will spread the arms out into a nice soft T and take our feet out to the edges of the mat. And today we're going to come right into movement. So right as you lay down, start to gently drop your knees side to side slowly. Maybe dropping your head to the opposite direction of your knees as well. I wanted to share, I've been carrying a lot of tension lately in my body, and it's making me feel really stiff. So almost every time I come onto the mat, I'm like, oh gosh, this is tough. I want to share that, of course, in the name of transparency and knowing you're not alone if that's happening to you. But also, I just want to mention, sometimes in times like this, you get that urge to stop moving, to curl under a blanket and keep still, because it can be a little uncomfortable to move. But we do, I think, want to try to keep ourselves moving, especially in times when we're extra stiff, and ultimately we'll feel better afterwards. But I'm right there with you if it's like, oh, sometimes it's an effort to get into the movement. Okay, we're going to do a few more of these. All right, and we'll come on back into center. Place your feet at hips width distance. Just place your hands right sort of at the tops of the thighs, arms relaxed. Take a nice deep breath in. Full breath out. Deep breath in. Full breath out. And one more. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Place your arms down by your sides now. Press your arms with some firmness into the mat. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift your hips up into bridge. Exhale, bring them back down. Inhale, lift up as you press arms down. Exhale, release. And now, different, we'll do a drawbridge here. So lift your hips as you lift the arms up and over. Inhale. And then, sorry, banjo. Exhale, come on back down. Didn't mean to startle you. Two more like that. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, come on back down. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And gather your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins or the backs of your thighs and rock your body side to side. Rock kind of as far to the side as you can for these so you get the fullest massage along the back of the head, upper shoulders, etc. All right, and then roll over briefly onto either side, whichever you like. Just pause there for a moment, maybe resting your head on your bottom arm. And then we're going to press up. We'll come into a tabletop pose here. Feel free to set your blocks at the edges of the mat, having them ready. Might use them in a bit. But for right now, planting your hands down, maybe walking your hands out. And then in your table, cat and cow, inhale, lift your chest, lift your tailbone. And exhale, press round nice and slow here. We're going for quality, not quantity, in the number of postures today. Inhale for a nice cow pose. And then exhale for cat. Let's go for 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. And last 2. We'll come back into the neutral spine. Bring your big toes into touch. Spread your knees out wide. Start to shift your hips back toward your heels, but then thread your right arm underneath the left, coming into thread the needle from child's pose. Now you could do this from tabletop if you prefer, but walk your left hand forward, and we'll give this about 5 breaths. Try to be patient with the stretch here. You go ahead and inhale, unthread that right arm. You can kind of come forward a little bit again, giving yourself space to really get the left arm underneath the right. Right arm walks forward now, taking that nice stretch on the second side. Awesome. Okay, you're gonna unfurl, come into a soft child's pose just for a couple moments here, but elbows and shoulders real relaxed. Good. And then you'll come forward to your tabletop, realign your knees under your hips, curl your toes under, and carefully lift back for a downward facing dog. Okay, now we're just gonna keep it mobile here, maybe pedaling your heels and swaying your hips. First dog of the practice, maybe the first dog of your day. Or downward facing dog, I should say. Got a dog over there and a dog over there. All right, and then we'll bend the knees, look forward to your hands, and step your feet up to meet your hands. Halfway lift their top of the mat, and a forward fold, exhale. Reach the arms up, big breath in. And arms to your sides. Okay, so we're gonna take a nice standing flow, a half salutation with some nice flourishes here. So kind of a full body experience. All right, so starting in your mountain, inhale, reach your arms up. Clasp your left wrist with your right hand, and then you're gonna side bend over to the right. Nice big stretch there. Inhale back to center, exchange your clasp, and side bend over to the left. Okay, inhale back to center, separate hands, palms face forward, bend your elbows and open your heart out, taking a little back bend here. Inhale back to center, and then swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold forward again. Now let's do this again. Inhale, reach up, clasp your left wrist with your right hand, stretch, and take a side bend over to your left. Inhale, center, exchange your clasp, side bend over to the left. Inhale, center, separate hands, take the goalpost, open up through the heart. Inhale, back up, and swan dive forward. Take a halfway lift, breathing in, forward fold. Now reach up, inhale, and exhale, arms to your sides. Good, let's keep moving slowly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a halfway lift. Plant your hands carefully, step back for a down dog. Now you might bend both knees here and then lift your right leg carefully back and up. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Now maybe you want to use your blocks here underneath the hands. We're going to hold in the lunge here. So dropping through the hips, lengthening forward through the spine. Pressing back through the left heel. We'll take one more breath in here. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. Take a big inhale. Hold for the exhale. Okay, we'll be coming to dog next. So inhale. Lower abdominal strength lifts you up. Downward facing dog. Push the mat away. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Maybe bending the knees before you lift the left leg up high. Inhale. And exhale. Take your left foot forward in between your hands. Right. Maybe you want to use your blocks here. We're going to hold in the lunge. One more breath in. Exhale, plant the hands, step back plank. Really find your strength here on one round of breath in and out. In and dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. And then one more inhale. Exhale, let's take it forward to our plank. Drop to your knees. Lower to the mat. Rise up onto Sphinx, making a smooth transition right into our yin postures here. So elbows underneath the shoulders or slightly ahead of the shoulders, we are going to hold here. So if directly underneath the shoulders is too much, slide them forward a bit. My apologies, Bob. And we are going to drag the elbows back, reach the heart forward. So much of what happens in a yin pose, you can't see. So sometimes I feel it's one of the hardest type of postures to demonstrate, right? Because we want that gravity helping us root down. And especially in this pose, you've got this sort of combination of reaching forward through the heart space, but also allowing a little bit of kind of healthy compression in the upper spine. So we're not like lifting up as much as we can. We're kind of allowing a little bit of settling in the spine. Now, physiologically, we subconsciously allow that settling all the time, probably too much in terms of hunching. So as we're expanding in the front of the spine, the part of the soft tissue between the vertebrae toward your front body, as we're expanding there, we're allowing that counterposing kind of compression in the back of the spine. A few more breaths here. One more inhale. And then exhale. You're going to come on down. Let's rest in crocodile. So stack your hands, forehead down maybe. Just gently wiggle your hips side to side a little bit. And then place your hands by the ribs. Engage your core a bit. Press up to your table, please. And then in table, it's just going to be totally intuitive movement before our half pigeon pose. Right? So maybe just a little bit of wiggles, cat and cow, lateral movement, whatever you like. Okay, good. Then we'll come into our longest hold for the day. I'm coming into our half pigeon before we move towards Shavasana. So half pigeon's a pose I teach a lot, but we don't often stay for like what I would call a more traditional yin amount of time. Today we're going to do that. So I think I'm going to take, especially given how stiff I've been, my bolster out ahead of me. And maybe I'd also want to block underneath my front hip. And so we'll just kind of sit out in front of the bolster, right leg in front, left leg is going to come back. Now, First of all, this left leg can remain bent if you want, but if we want to go for that kind of classic pigeon shape, you'll have it come straight back, like your pointed little pigeon tail back behind you. My right heel is quite close to my groin. Some of you might have your front shin more parallel with the front of the mat. That does not work for my body. So I'm going to go ahead and let that heel come quite a bit back. I'll show you from the front. But you can see how far back that right heel would be for me. All right, and then I'll see about settling down onto the bolster. You don't need to use the bolster here. And you could take a blanket or one pillow or two even, or a block underneath your right hip. I'm gonna leave mine as is. It's kind of floating a little bit. It's not grounded, but that's actually giving me a nice yin sensation, that nice kind of healthy kind of tension in the joint. If your knee, your hip, anything starts hurting, you make sure to put some support underneath it. I'm going to give it some time here. Now, if this absolutely just does not feel good in your body, you don't want to force yourself. You could come down onto your back. You could put your left foot up on something like a block or bolster, even the edge of a chair or the wall, and you could cross your right ankle over and get your stretch from there. The most important thing is that we get a sensation that is appropriate for your body and that we try to stay for a period of time. Right? So try to relax into it as best as you can. And we got about one more full minute here. Couple more breaths. Awesome. Let's try to go very slowly here, even though it might be tempting to kind of pop out, especially if that was like a little challenging for you. I know I was feeling that quite a bit. Okay, you can unravel, maybe take your legs outside of your prop or just out in front of you and bounce them around a little bit. I definitely already feel the difference between my sides. And then your left leg will cross in front, right leg comes back. Right, you can always keep that back knee bent. This is a great version of the pose as well. You're still going to probably get a lot of sensation. Or if you want to straighten the leg out, support the left hip if you like, or do this whole thing from the back. Ooh-wee. Let's come on in. Generally, I put the cheek down that is the same leg I have down. So here, I put my left cheek down, but you might like forehead. My nose gets in the way when I try to do forehead. It's uncomfortable, so I like to put a cheek down. And try to relax your shoulders. Give it some time here. Okay, last minute. A couple more breaths. Try to come up pretty slowly and gently. Quiet legs can come forward. Maybe shake them out. If you have a prop, go ahead and move that out of the way. And then we're going to take a brief reverse table to close our practice. So you'll place your feet down on the mat and you can have your fingers facing back, maybe facing forward. I actually discovered I love them facing out. Only discovered that within the past year. There's always new things to learn, no matter how long you've been in your yoga practice, right? So press into your feet, press into your hands, lift your hips. One more inhale and release. All right, my friends, it's time for Shavasana. If you do have a bolster of pillows and you want to put that underneath your knees, that might feel lovely after your efforts today. Well, whatever you choose, try to make it a real release, an opportunity to drop the heaviness of the body down toward the earth. Relax your jaw, eyes, letting yourself really rest here. Shavasana. Taking these next few moments for maybe those little movements in the fingers, the wrists, ankles and toes that feel good to awaken. Follow a round or two of your deep, full breath. Perhaps curl over onto your side, taking that little moment of conscious reentry. Good job showing up to your mat. Whatever point you're at in your day, to make the time to be here. We all know that time is, feels kind of limited sometimes and the days are fleeting. So I want to acknowledge your effort for showing up. And we're going to come up, meet one another in seated. Thank you so much for joining me. Bring your hands to heart center, sit up nice and tall. And we'll take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, 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 everyone.